Hi, with me today is Camila Ramos, a developer relations engineer at Edge&Node, the team behind the Graph protocol. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start off with a few questions about yourself. How did you first get into crypto?
I first got into crypto back in high school, maybe in 2015. That was the first time I had bought any crypto. And this was just through a friend kind of telling me that he was interested in crypto and, me kind of just following his lead and buying some crypto. But I didn't really get into, what I would consider like Web3 or the developer space in blockchain until 2021, till last year, maybe about like 9-10 months ago at this point. And I kind of just started off, I have a background in engineering. I was doing, traditional software engineering, and I kind of had seen the wave of interest in Web3 that happened around 10 months ago, and that's kind of how I just got started developing and building on the blockchain.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Can you try to remember the most ridiculous thing that happened to you or you just experienced in crypto?
I think for the most ridiculous thing I experienced was kind of being new to the space and joining right when this Dogecoin and Shiba coin and all these different kind of parody coins or kind of jokester coins maybe were around. And as someone new to the space, it was kind of hard to discern what was serious and what wasn't. Obviously, looking back, this was also around the time where Elon Musk was tweeting about these coins, and it was just this kind of crazy show, circus. So I would say that was the most kind of ridiculous thing I have experienced. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was there a time when you considered quitting the crypto space for good?
No, not yet at least. I'm still relatively new, so I haven't had any experiences like that yet.
Hopefully you'll never have.
Yeah.
Okay, now probably let's move from questions about you to questions about your product. Could you briefly tell us, for those who is not familiar with the Graph, what exactly the product is about?
Yeah, so the Graph protocol is an indexing and query protocol that allows developers to read data efficiently from the blockchain and build APIs on top of different L1s that we're integrated with. And basically what that means is you're allowed to, it kind of unlocks the ability to ask complex questions about data that's on the blockchain and surface these in a client application to kind of display data and create anything from dashboards to visualizers to pretty much any application where you would need to somehow read data from the blockchain and then use that either for logic, for calculations, or just for displaying.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes the Graph is referred to as the Google of blockchains. How accurate is that definition?
Yeah, I think that definition comes from the fact that Google indexes stuff on the web and the Graph indexes stuff on the blockchain. And really the Graph is kind of the connective tissue between the raw data that is out there on the blockchain from all these different transactions that take place and dApps. Mm-hmm.
Earlier this year, the Graph raised $50 million in a founding round. Could you tell us a little bit about the product's plans?
Yeah, so the Graph Foundation did a strategic sale of GRT. So the Graph Foundation is an independent organization that oversees the grant allocations and kind of the coordination between all the different core developers to get things done for the Graph. So that's what that was. The Graph Foundation did that sale to some funds that were very aligned with kind of the roadmap. And I would say the biggest thing right now is the sunsetting of the Graph's hosted service and the migration of all subgraphs to the decentralized network.
Apparently, we are in a bear market. But is there any silver lining? Is there going to be any positive impacts on blockchain technology?
Yeah, I think so. As a developer, and kind of that's the community that I'm deeply in, I think bear markets are actually a really positive thing because projects and communities tend to focus less on financials and less on other metrics like that, and focus just on building good things, building user adoption, and kind of growing the ecosystem in a way that's more holistic rather than maybe in a bull market people are all kind of frenzied over market prices and how everything is kind of seeming to go so well. So I think it's going to be good for projects that are really focusing on building during this time.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Actually, not just the crypto space, but the world's entire economy is in pretty bad shape now. What do you think? Is there any special role for crypto in these circumstances?
Yeah, again, I would say from a developer lens and kind of being involved in different DAOs and in different communities, one thing that I've seen really unlock with crypto is really just the ease and the ability to pay contributors from all over the world in a way that hasn't really been that easily done before. I think with crypto, we're seeing a way where you can have people in this like globalized community all contributing to a project and having this infrastructure to pay everyone and kind of make it super easy, whereas maybe before you had to rely on other services that had limitations based on what country you were in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Actually, many countries have recently tightened crypto regulation. From your point of view, what crypto regulation would be ideal?
Yeah, so I'm definitely not an expert in the area, but again, speaking from a developer lens, I think good regulation would just mean clarity, so that everyone knows kind of how to operate and just kind of being on the same page and making it such that the United States remains competitive and can be a key player in this space.
Another question is about Metaverse. How would you define Metaverse from your viewpoint?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Metaverse has a lot of different definitions. I think some people use it to specifically talk about kind of VR very specifically, and kind of other people use it more broadly to talk about kind of blockchain in general. For me, I kind of use it very specifically for like VR environments. That's kind of what I think of when I say Metaverse. But I'm also not like super familiar with a lot of Metaverse projects, but I do know that they're kind of growing steadily and they're becoming more and more popular.
Probably for quite a lot of time, a lot has been said about mass adoption of crypto solutions. How far away are we from proper mass adoption of crypto, in your opinion?
Yeah, I would say kind of the number one thing inhibiting that right now is the user experience. Right now, to use dApps and to kind of use any blockchain related technology, you kind of have to be an expert and you kind of have to have this deep knowledge of how the technology works, what a wallet is, how to bridge funds between different chains, and it's very complex for someone who just wants to do a task and pay with crypto, for example. So I would say, in my opinion, kind of the thing that is keeping us from being there is like a more easy to understand user experience for people who are not experts in the space. And I don't know, I would love to see this happen in like the next 5 years. That would be amazing, to live in a world where mom and pop shops, can take crypto and they're able to offboard their funds, and there's basically no difference between how they were doing it before. But I don't know, I think maybe that's an optimistic hope, but hopefully in 10 years at least we'll be able to see this.
You just mentioned bridging different blockchains. It's like interoperability. Is quite a major issue. Again, how far away are we from solving it?
I would say, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to give kind of a good estimate, I would say, but I know there's a lot of cool projects popping up specifically to solve this problem that I've become aware of more recently, and it seems like they're kind of gaining more popularity and awareness among the general blockchain developer community, and whereas before maybe it was very niche to people who were really interested in this very specific area of interoperability. So hopefully real soon.
Okay, Camila, thanks for your insights. Thanks for being on our interview series.
Of course, thanks so much.